Hi, welcome back to Fountain of Youth TV, and today's video we're going to focus on how to sprout using a sprouting jar. So we can sprout our nuts, seeds, beans, legumes, which are beans. And this is one of my favorite jars, sprouting jars. It's made by Now Real Foods. It's glass and it's got stainless steel with fine mesh. And you always want to use glass or stainless steel because if you use plastics to do any kind of sprouting or anything with cooking, we all know that they leach out different kinds of toxic chemicals. So stick with glass and stainless steel. It's just much better for our food and for our bodies. All right, the mung bean is one of my favorites, and believe it or not, it's one of the most consumed beans on our planet. It's primarily grown in China and used mostly in Asian foods. I just love it. It's got a really nifty taste, but it's almost like you can't. It's like in the potato chip. You can't just eat one. They're just so fun to eat once they've been sprouted. But they're so packed full of nutrients. They've got vitamins A, B, C, and E. They've got potassium, calcium, iron, magnesium. They've got the amino acids and great amount of protein. So you're really getting a lot of nutrients in the bean itself. But then once it's sprouted, it becomes a real powerhouse. And they are, whenever you eat anything sprouted, it is one of the most nutritional foods known to man. So if possible, you really want to try to get some sprouts into your diet and just enjoy them. So here's how I've done it. So far, I've measured out a cup, put a cup of the mung beans into my sprouting jar, and then I just put some water into them. You want to rinse them really, really, really good because if they're coming from China, they actually dry them after they've been picked and harvested. They dry them on the roads, and the roads are kind of dusty, so they're going to have some dust on them. So you want to rinse them quite a few times until the water runs clear. So I've already been rinsing a couple different times, so we're just going to rinse it again. And I use the sprouting jar to do my rinsing. If you want to use a colander or something, you can do that as well. I do a lot of sprouting. You'll notice that on my counter over back there, I've got another sprout going. Those are another one of my favorites. Those are green lentils, and they're delicious as well. I also do quinoa, but because I make such a huge batch, I put them into a large fine mesh strainer because I do 5 cups, and that ends up making 10. They always double. So because I'm doing 1 cup here, by the time we're done sprouting, you'll have 2 cups. So you'll notice over here I'll have rocks put a picture of. When I make my quinoa, it's a huge batch, and it's in a big, huge fine mesh colander. And so you can do it different ways. That's just one way I figured out how to do larger batches. But here you're going to do about a cup. And then I've rinsed it a couple times. And now I'm going to put, and you want to put about 2 to 3 times the amount of water in that you have, that your seeds are, or your nuts or whatever you're going to sprout. You want to put about that much water for it to soak in because they do swell up. And get all your seeds in there, your nuts. And that's really all there is to it. Once they've been rinsed really well, you're going to fill it right up. And then I'm going to let them sit over here along with my other jar that's sprouting. And they'll sit here, I would say mung beans, try to go about 12 hours because they're a hard bean, and you really want them to really, they're like a green now. You want them to almost become a light yellow. And then that's when you know that they really have absorbed the water that they need. So you kind of look at the colors, and that will kind of tell you. About 12 hours, though, for the mung beans. And my lentils, of course, I usually do about 8 hours because they're very thin and they're not as hard. So I'll get back to you once those have set and they've soaked up all the water, and then I'll show you the next step because it's really easy. Good morning, and now fast forward 12 hours, the night has passed, and the mung beans have been soaking all night for 12 hours, and you can see that they're quite bloated and that the water has kind of been taken up into the bean, and they're lighter color, so they kind of swelled up. So now I'm just going to rinse them out. I do water. See how easy it is, that fabulous mesh stainless steel cover. It just makes it so much easier. Rinse it thoroughly. And then kind of spread them out a little bit like this so that they're all going to be able to start to germinate. And then I come over here and you'll see next to where I have my other sprouting session going here with my lentils. They're almost done. Tonight when I come home from work, I'll show you how you can see their little tails coming out, little sprouts. So now I just set them here in a bowl. The bowl's going to catch any water that's going to be draining out. You'll see I have some of those rubber tops, the bottle opener things here. They're here so that the bowls don't slide. So I just kind of put those there to make life easier. But they'll just lean here in a kind of shaded spot in your kitchen. Doesn't have to be complete darkness. Some people say, oh, they have to be in darkness. But they're fine right here. As long as it's not in direct sunlight, they're really A-okay. And they'll just, for 12 hours, they'll sit here. They'll start to germinate more and more. And then I'll rinse them again. And we'll continue to show you the process. And you'll see how simple it is. It really doesn't take more than 30 seconds of your time every 12 hours just to rinse, put them back over here, and then you're going to have these wonderful, nutritious sprouts that your body will just love the energy and the nutrients that they get from. And we'll see you in 12 more hours. So 12 hours has passed again. I've gone to school, come home, worked out, and now it's time to rinse our mung beans. They're little teeny tiny. I wish Rox, I don't know if she could zoom in on it, but you can see there's some little tiny sprouts coming on some of them. Can you see their little white ones over there, Rox? Can you see them way in yonder? Way over here. There's a couple little tiny ones starting to come out. So anyway, they are starting to sprout. Do quickly. Because it's so cold right now, we're getting colder, and when I go to work, my heat goes down, so it's not going to be really toasty warm in the house. They do grow slower at this time of year. In the summer, when it's hot and humid, it's like twice as fast. They grow twice as fast, so it's kind of fun to see the difference between the seasons and the temperatures. They're just kind of chilly, and so they're going to go a little slower. They just to be kind of cognizant of that. You notice I'm always using spring water. I don't use tap water because of the chlorine and all the chemicals that they add to it. Fluoride is just not good for our bodies, as we know. So again, we know Rox and I always go and collect our own spring water. That video is also on our website if you want to check that out. There's nothing like in a glass container. Again, glass, it doesn't leach. With nothing like fresh spring water. Get it every week. So I'm going to add more water so we don't get dried out. Got to keep them moist. And I just let them sit for a couple minutes just to kind of replenish and rehydrate. I don't just rinse them really fast. Just let them sit there like my lentils. They'll probably be done tomorrow morning. Rox, if you zoom in, you can see quite a few of the. Can you see all the little? Is it too blurry? I don't know if you can see it. See all the little sprouts all around here? Some people would end it right here, and they'd say that that's long enough for them. But I just like them a little bit longer, just a bit longer than that. And right now, I mean, you could just taste them right now, and they're so delicious. So really, when you're sprouting, taste them after each 12 hours has passed and see what flavor you like the best. It's really to each his own. I just kind of know when I like them. I just feel that they kind of have more nutrients the little bit longer the sprouts are. So they're going to sit for a couple of minutes, and then I'll come back. I'll rinse them out, pour them out, and put them back in their little stands there. And again, 12 hours in the morning, we'll do the same thing. And so we aren't going to be so repetitious, this would get a little boring. We'll go to when I get to the point of when these guys are ready to be harvested, and then I'll show you that. So that's it for today, and we'll see you back when we get to another phase of this sprouting project, and stay tuned. So now we're back, and it's time to harvest our crop. You can see over here now I've got, another day has passed since we videotaped. So I've got my garbanzo beans sprouting. I've got azuki beans sprouting over here, and here's our mung beans. Look how beautiful. Let's see inside, Rox. See all the Aren't they beautiful? See all the little tails on them? This is how I like them the best. This is where I feel that I like the flavor, and I feel like I'm getting great nutrients. Some people may have wanted to harvest maybe the last rinse that we did. So it's your discretion. Taste them after the first 12 hours, and then taste them again, and you'll just kind of to realize which is the best flavor for you. Now this is very crucial, the next step. I like to use, some people put them on paper towels to dry them. You want to have them dry to the touch before you store them in the refrigerator, otherwise mold and who knows what could be growing on them. So this is a really cool fine mesh strainer. I've got all different kinds, but for these specific, all the kinds of beans I'm doing here, I really like this. I found that this works the best for me because this is what I like to do. I like to take a knife. Excuse me, Rocky, come over here. I like to take a knife and I just spread them out. See, this nice, the long rectangular shape really allows me to really get some really good surface area here. And this allows air to circulate all around it, underneath. It's not just going to sit on a towel or a paper towel, whatever. It really allows it to dry fabulously. I've never had a problem with mold or anything. And they really last for quite a few days. So this will, just until I feel that they're really dry and ready to go into a glass container. But you can start eating them now, and they're just so good. It's amazing the nutrients that's inside, but the flavor is amazing. I put them in everything, or just eat them like this, as I've said before. So again, I'll do the same thing when the other beans are done sprouting as well. So with the beans, this is really a great way to dry them thoroughly, and then you can store them in a glass container, as I said, and right in your refrigerator, and just give it a try. So what I did to achieve this size sprout, okay, is there was 4 rinses. Every 12 hours you're going to rinse. So that's for each day, it's 2 rinses. So it's 2 days. And it's really so simple. And it takes you 30 seconds each time to prepare this. So it's very quick, very easy, in no time flat. So I have a revolving door of constant different kinds of beans and seeds, and legumes and greens, always sprouting. So again, give it a try, have fun with it, and you'll find out you're going to love the taste and the nutrients and the energy that you get from this simple task of sprouting in your kitchen. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and go out and try sprouting and have a little garden in your kitchen, and it saves so much money as well. And it's just full of protein and your vitamins and minerals and amino acids, and it just is a real powerhouse for your body. So thanks so much for joining us here on Fountain of Youth TV, and remember, take charge of your health destiny. You can do it.